exponents. Just in review, we have two major ideas so far that I just want to reiterate. We have our first major idea where we had a base to a power times the same base to another power. And the rule there was we added the exponents, so a plus b. Our second rule was a power to a power where we had a base to an exponent, I'll call it a. We had the whole thing in parentheses raised to another exponent. Well, in this case, we multiply the exponents. Don't forget our two small minor rules. Anything to the 0 equals 1, and anything to a negative power, I'll call it n, equals 1 over that same number to the positive power. These are our four main ideas so far this chapter. So as we look at our example 1, we're going to take this to another level, and we're going to say x to the 4th raised to the 7th. Well, power to a power, we multiply, and so we're going to treat that as its own little problem. Then we're going to look at the second part, and we're going to distribute, and we're going to say, okay, that's y to the 6th squared, and it's x cubed squared. Well, as we continue that, the x to the 28th is going to come down. Power to a power, we multiply. Power to a power, we multiply. Now we're going to group our x's together and try to simplify those. Well, we have a total of 34 x's, so we're going to add our exponents, so x to the 34th and y to the 12th. We now look over at problem B, and we have two problems combined together again. First we have 2x cubed to the 5th, and then 3xy squared to the 3rd. Well, let's get to break this down. We have 2 to the 5th times x cubed to the 5th times 3 to the 3rd times x to the 3rd times y squared to the 3rd. So we're merely distributing each one. Let's group all our variables together as we simplify. We have 2 to the 5th times 3 cubed. There's our numbers out front. X cubed to the 5th is x to the 15th times x cubed. So we're grouping our x's, and then our y's are at the back. Y squared to the 3rd is y to the 6th. We now take our calculators if need be, and we figure out 2 to the 5th is 32. If you need your calculator, go ahead and use it. 3 cubed is 27. We'll be multiplying those shortly. Because these have the same base, we're going to add them. That's x to the 18th times y to the 6th. The only thing left to do is to take and multiply out 27 times 32. That's 864. So my answer will be 864 x to the 18th y to the positive 6. Now let's look down at our bottom problem on the sheet. Once again, we have two different things multiplied together, but now we have a negative exponent. So as we work through our problems, we're going to have to remember that negative exponents may go to the bottom at some point. So first, let's distribute. 5 to the negative 2, x to the 4th to the negative 2, times 4 to the 3rd, times x to the 3rd, times z to the negative 4th, raised to the 3rd. Let's group our numbers together. Put the numbers in front. Power to a power for our x's, that's x to the negative 8 times x cubed, and then our z is at the back, power to a power, we multiply. Well, 5 squared is 25, but since it's a negative 2, that's going to go on the bottom as a 25. 4 cubed, you could use your calculator and figure that out, or you could know that that is 64. 4 times 4 times 4. We now look at the second part, x to the negative 8th and x to the 3rd. We combine those together and get x to the negative 5. But, because it's negative 5, that's going to go to the bottom and become a positive 5. And then last, our z to the negative 12, because it's a negative, goes on the bottom. So our answer is 64 over 25, x to the 5th, z to the 12th.